All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode of Banks Wants You to Know, your latest source for financial discipline and literacy. By the time this video is posted and it reaches the masses, it'll be another holiday weekend for us, which will be Independence Day, or better known as the 4th of July. And the 4th landed on a perfect day for most people. With it landing on a Friday, that means it'll be an extended weekend for most and an extended celebration into the weekend. So all the cookouts, fireworks shows, things like that, it'll be a nice long weekend for everyone. At least for those who celebrate, because there may be some who choose not to celebrate at all. But in either case, what is one thing that's always attached to an American holiday? Sales. I'm sure you've seen the commercials, the ads on social media, the big stickers on the store windows, but there are sales everywhere. You name it, grocery stores, clothing stores, any other store you can think of. Even online stores are getting in on the action, and that's going to come the week after the holiday. Yes, Amazon, I'm talking about you, Target as well. So there are plenty of options, of course, to spend your money. But what if I told you just because you see a sale doesn't mean you have to go and participate in it? How would you feel about that? Of course, it's tempting to purchase that one thing or a couple of things that you've had your eye on for a while, especially if it comes with a nice discount this time around. But it's possible that those purchases could still set you back in the short term. And I actually saw a friend on Instagram repost a tweet from another financial guru that stated this title that I have on the board almost verbatim, which really was the motivation for me making this video today. I kind of feel like I'm stealing a little bit, but I promise these are my original thoughts that I'm going to elaborate on about this situation. Now, speaking of those original thoughts, I will touch on three of them briefly regarding the reasons to think twice about splurging on a couple of these sales. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's jump into it. Recently, I've done a few videos about the mental aspect of our money usage. And this first thought of mine touches on that a little bit. So believe it or not, participating in these sales may make you spend even more than what you intended to spend. In most cases, this happens when you go in without a plan. Now, of course, I would mention that again, right? So you may go into it something like this. Well, H&M has 50% off on everything in the store. So I'll go in here, get about 7 or 8 clothing items, fix up my wardrobe for around 125. Then I'm going to walk into Foot Locker, see what they have going on. Okay, I see some shoes that I really like. Now they're $50 off of the original price, down to $80. So I got to go get them. Then at the end of the day, after you hit a few other places in the mall or a few internet sites, you possibly could look back at your account and see you spent way more than you intended to spend. Another example could be in the grocery stores. Say you're preparing for a cookout or a gathering of some sort. There will be lots of deals that will state buy one get one free, or buy one get another half off, or anything similar to that. Now let's say you're preparing to put food on the grill and you see hamburger and hot dog buns with a BOGO deal. Now if you get enticed by this deal, then you'll get more buns, which is going to lead to you getting more hamburgers and hot dogs than what you've planned to get. Now there's going to be a need for a bigger gathering, so you get extra drinks, chips, and maybe some other sides, which all came with BOGO deals. So you'll either spend more than anticipated or get more food than you really need. And for some products that may be part of a 2 for $5 deal, for example, some stores may allow you to just get one of those products at half the price at $2.50. Then other stores will require you to buy one. You have to buy one at regular price, and let's just say that regular price is $3.49. If you're not interested in buying two for the deal, which that is a trigger to something in the mind to tell you that, oh yeah, go ahead and buy the 2 for $5. Then it leads you to buying other things to complement them. All in all, watch the sales, watch your wallet or purse, and get what you need and what you want within your money capabilities. What I have on the board here is just an example of really a comparison between someone will spend their money regularly with a plan, and then over here, if there's if you get paid around the same time as the holiday, and there's a whole bunch of holiday sales around. So here, this is actually kind of like the example in my last video, which stated plan versus no plan. It's kind of the same thing, but just in a different context. So here, um, I have what we would do with our free money. Let's say, okay, for those 2 weeks, you spend $100 on groceries, about 70 on gas. Say you fill up twice or something like that, you're gonna save 50, and then for yourself, you treat yourself to whatever for the rest of the money. But then you get over here and you get enticed by those holiday sales. You spend an extra $70 on groceries for those cookouts, things like that, and then you jump right into the shopping, and you exhaust all of the discretionary income that you have, and wind up spending that $130. So now you've reached the limit. You may be going into the red, but you also have to think about, okay, do you how are you going to get your gas? Are you going to save for this pay period or not? Or what if the groceries that you spent your money on doesn't last you for the rest of those 2 weeks? So definitely some things to really consider, really think about when spending money during the holiday, and really just jumping out there onto those sales. The next thought I have can also have a psychological effect on the way we spend our money, and that is sales will come back around. Sometimes it doesn't even have to be really the next holiday, which I'm sure there will be another big spread of sales around Labor Day, which will come in early September. There will be other small sales that will spring up at various stores. Some stores have sales every weekend. I'm making this point because it's possible that you may not have enough money to go all out on the sales that are being advertised for this current holiday, but I can I can see that you may be still feeling that pressure to make a couple of purchases due to FOMO, which is fear of missing out, leading you to going over your budget. That can lead to a slippery slope in your finances. Either you're pulling from savings, you're resorting to using a credit card, or having to borrow from someone to cover the important obligations of your finances, something that you really put on the back burner when you shouldn't have. So if there's something that you have your eye on, but it may not be feasible to purchase right now, then it's okay to hold off on that purchase and then monitor that price for a little while longer. You never know, the next sale that comes may be the best deal or discount that you've seen yet. Realizing this fact takes a high level of controlling your impulses and exercising some patience. Now, understand that seeing these sales makes most of us impulsive. We see it now, we got to get it now before it runs out. But in most cases, the product we want to buy may not even last as long as we anticipated when we buy it, or work as good as we want it to, or we may even lose interest in it in a short amount of time. These are some things to think about when it comes to the sales you see. In the same manner money comes back around to you, so does these sales. Let's be honest. The sales that are marketed towards us do not focus on the things we need, but they present it in a way that would make us think that it's a need for us. Yet, most of the things we buy could still be classified as a want. This is why my last thought states that sales lead us to focusing more on our wants than our needs. If I were to define a need and a want, I would say a need is something that is required for our survival and normal living conditions, such as food, water, shelter, and comfort, which comfort would be considered as necessary clothing. And I would say a need is a product that's required to do a certain activity or program as well, such as having a baseball bat and glove to participate on a baseball team. Wants would be anything outside of that, or any needs that are in excess. First, thing I thought about when saying needs in excess is too much clothing. Now, I get it. No one wants to wear the same thing all the time, but extra clothing is a want. I actually believe there's nothing wrong with getting things you want as long as it is within your budget and within your wage. Whenever I go buy new clothes or go thrifting sometimes, I will aim to replace an existing item that I have in my closet with a new item and start a donation pile for the replaced clothing that I'm putting on the chopping block. As good as that may sound to you, I almost found myself getting caught up in the sales game. Recently, I purchased two new pairs of casual shoes. Both were on sale for almost 70% of the original price. Really good deals. I have to admit, one of them was bought via Klarna, and I also have a video regarding buy now, pay later platform. So please go check that one out if you haven't seen it. But it was for a small price. Now, the second pair I bought from some extra money that I had earned. And then I was getting ready to buy a third pair of shoes. This is all within a week. I had no idea where this certain urge to buy shoes came from. I even thought about going to use Afterpay to get them, but I would have paid off the corner bill from the first pair though, because I don't like having too many buy now, pay later items stacked upon each other. I like to do one at a time. But I had to stop myself, and I just finally decided I can get those shoes at another time and then get them in a color that I actually like because that color that I wanted was really not available at that discounted price. So there's an instance where I was drawn to a want and not a need, and it was in excess too. So I would say be careful engaging in these sales because while you're getting all the things you want, you may miss out on an opportunity to purchase or invest in something you need. Now, after saying all that I just said about being aware of holiday sales, it may seem that I'm totally against getting things at a discount. I'm definitely not against sales. Hey, I love a good sale just as much as everyone else. I just aim to really talk about it from an impulsive and a money management perspective. Although it feels good to get a deal or a steal, I would recommend to you all to know when to start and when to finish your retail therapy. Of course, most stores with big sales this weekend will want you to shop until you drop. But when you realize their tactics and you are disciplined in your finances, you won't fall for any of that stuff. Speaking of that, we're going to pivot to the verse of the session, which comes from Proverbs 14 and 8, and it reads, "The wisdom of the prudent is to give thought to their ways, but the folly of fools is deception." And I was led to this verse today because the sales we encounter can easily deceive us, as I gave various examples throughout the video, and how that deception can occur in these stores and in your mind. These companies are not the only ones that are trying to deceive us. There's also that voice in the back of your head telling you, oh, it's okay. Just keep swiping that card. Go into debt if you have to, or spend your bill money, whatever it takes to get what you want, or whatever that particular voice may say to you exactly. This can be and usually is the voice of our adversary, the enemy. But when we obtain wisdom from the Lord, we can discern these voices, not abide in them, and operate and move in the Spirit. Do not be deceived in any situation, even outside of finances, but ask God for clarity to ensure you stay on the right path. And that, my friends, concludes this session today of Banks Wants You to Know, where financial discipline equals financial success. I'd like to thank you all for hanging out with me once again. Please give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and share this with someone who you think would benefit from hearing this information. Also, let's jump into the comments. Let me know how you are planning to spend your money on this holiday weekend, or if you have any stories regarding being deceived from store sales, or any strategies you have adopted to deal with sales. If you like what you heard, then great. Come back next time to see what I want you to know in the world of personal finance. Times can be hard, but we can get through them together. Thank you again. Class is dismissed.